Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into Trainer Talk Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about listening to your gut. So one of the most important things when it comes to overall real health is having great gut health. So that really determines what's going on a lot throughout the entire body. Your gut is always a great indicator of if you're suffering with something that is not beneficial for your health.
Yes, guys. So 70% of your immune system is located in your gut. So it makes sense if there's an imbalance there that you are going to be more prone to sickness and disease. So we really want to address this because, as Nate mentioned, this is such a key component to overall health and wellness. If your gut is not in check, then you are not going to be well. So guys, we're going to go through first signs that you need to recognize if you have an unhealthy gut, and then what you can do to improve it. So we're going to get right into the signs. So if you experience one or any of these symptoms, then you may want to consider checking out your gut health. So the first one is going to be poor digestion. If you have imbalances, negative imbalances in your gut, then you're most likely going to suffer from constipation. You could also have digestion issues that make you go too frequently, but typically you're going to have constipation issues. And I would say that the majority of the world is clinically constipated and they don't know it. So oftentimes we are told that normal bowel movements should take place anywhere from 1 to like 3 times a week. And guys, that's just not true. You should be going every day. Honestly, you should even be going multiple times a day if you have a healthy gut. A lot of things that we have been taught growing up is just not true. Holistic and functional medicine has proven this over the years. So if you are someone who is not regular, then that is definitely an issue that we want to address, because everything is getting stuck inside your body, right? And it has to be eliminated, it has to get out. And if it sits there for too long, then that can definitely cause issues.
Yeah, poor digestion. I mean, probably 1 out of, or I should say 8 out of every 10 people you see is probably suffering from this issue. If you notice and you just look around at everyday Americans, you can see a lot of people have these poked out bellies, and some of it can be from a lot of different things. But primarily a lot of that is because a lot of the foods, a lot of the things that you're ingesting, your body isn't in a position to break a lot of those things down and move it through your system so you can process and get it out of the body. So a lot of it is just stored in those areas, causing you to have a very bloated look.
Now guys, and number 2 here, if you have a unhealthy gut, then you may suffer from insomnia or just poor sleep in general. So the reason for this is that serotonin is produced in the gut. And so if there are imbalances there, then the levels of serotonin that are produced are damaged, right? The integrity of that is damaged. So if you're someone who just tosses and turns at night, you wake up frequently, you have a hard time going to sleep or staying asleep, then this might be something that you want to look further into. Any changes in our sleep cycle can be detrimental because, as Nate and I mentioned so often, sleep is such a huge component of overall health. So if your gut is out of check and it's causing you to sleep poorly, then that's just going to cause, it's going to be like a domino effect and cause other issues down the line.
Yeah, guys, and I talked to you about the domino effect of some of the things that you would notice in your exercise journey or your overall health journey. That's some of the things that I talk about when I say that your sleep will get better, because one of the things that can help aid in some of this healthy gut, is that when you start to eat those better foods and so on, and your body is starting to exercise and force those abdominal muscles to start to contract and start to squeeze some of that, and then you get that natural nutrition in there that helps break down a lot of that bacteria in the stomach, and that being fiber for the most part when you start to eat certain foods. So when you're suffering from this, a lot of people, when we see them earlier in that process, they suffer from having very, very poor poor sleep, and this is a big part of it. Yes, there are other contributing factors, but primarily in regards to this, that is something that you can look at and point out specifically and know that the lack of nutrition in your food is causing that buildup of unhealthy gut bacteria in the stomach, and it's keeping you from being able to get a good night's rest.
Yep, guys. And the third sign that you have an unhealthy gut is going to be skin irritations. Now, this is big. Our body loves to communicate with us far in advance from when we actually suffer from illness or disease. And one of the main ways that our body communicates with us is through the skin. So if you are someone who is prone to acne, or you have eczema, or you suffer from like random rashes, or you break out in hives, this is a huge warning light that your gut is screaming for you to help it, all right? This is something that has to be addressed. Anything that changes with our skin is just that warning light going on that, hey, something on the inside is off, please fix me. That's what your body is saying, and 9 times out of 10 with your skin is going to be your gut health.
Yeah, guys, this is a very interesting one for me, and when we started with the video today, and when I was looking over some of the notes for it, this one kind of raised an eyebrow for me, because I got someone very close and dear to me who I've seen for their entire life kind of suffer from this. I didn't really have a great understanding of it. I knew that a lot of the rest of us didn't have a lot of these issues, and I thought it was a lot of other things. But now that I have been into this industry, I have really gotten into what it means to have overall good health. I come to find out when you did, I think you were doing the appointments with the holistic doctor, Rupp, and she was telling you about some of the stuff, and you were talking, and you know, he was really deep into it, and he was showing me these things, and I seen, and then I thought back to this person that I'm talking of now, and I was like, maybe this is the big issue. And even to today, when we talk about skin irritations, this person still suffers from them, and this is still something that needs to be addressed, that they're maybe not quite ready for. Hopefully they will be sooner than later, but I have gained a great understanding, and I have seen this firsthand, and you guys can probably know someone, if not yourself, who is suffering from that, where you're way past the point of where we was told that, oh, you know, you go your teenage years, you get these bumps on your face, and you have these skin breakouts and so on, and it's because of
hormones, which that
not hormones, but puberty. Yeah, you're going through puberty. At least that's what I was told, and that's what
right,
we
which
all
is the
thought.
hormones.
Yeah, I guess it's still hormones.
And guys, there
but
is truth to that.
Yeah, but you
Some
thought
of
it
it
was
is
something that you could outgrow for the most part. But primarily what it is just having a really unhealthy gut. On top of that, even at an early age, you still can be supremely affected, and it can carry on to those older years.
Yeah, guys, with the hormones, like, yes, your hormones are changing during puberty. That can cause breakouts in the skin, but you also have to take into consideration what that child has been eating for their entire life. So if they are eating, like most Americans are eating, a highly processed diet full of refined sugars, then by 12 years of age, the body's going to start breaking down some. It's going to start showing some signs. It's not as resilient anymore to the overload of toxicity that you are putting in the body. So that is also a huge, huge, huge contributing factor that a lot of people do not take time to pay attention to. All right, guys, number 4 here. If you have an autoimmune disease, 100% there's something off with your gut. That's just the case, guys. So if you have arthritis, fibromyalgia, lupus, anything like that, right? Essentially, all autoimmune diseases are inflammation, okay? And they're just going to be inflammation in different areas of the body, but it first starts with inflammation in the gut. So, guys, if you are someone who has been diagnosed, or if you're showing symptoms of having an autoimmune disease and you are getting that checked out now, 100% ask your healthcare provider to look into your gut health and try some of these things that we'll get into later to address those factors. So that's pretty straightforward. Do you have anything else to?
No, I was just gonna say, if you are feeling any of those things like Marissa just mentioned, please get yourself checked out and look deeper into it. because it could be a lot simpler and you can get it taken care of a lot faster than maybe doing a lot of the other things that you're doing now, and you're still not seeing improvement because you haven't really found the source of the issue.
Yeah, guys. And number 5 is food intolerances. So I'm not talking about food allergies, I'm talking about food intolerances. There's a slight difference here. Food intolerances are basically when your body just has difficulty digesting food. So if you are someone who used to be able to eat a certain type of food before, especially if it's a healthy food, what would be considered a high quality food, and then years down the road you eat that again and your body just like reacts very negatively to it, that's typically a food intolerance. And these can be developed because of basically leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome is when your gut is so out of whack that it basically leaves openings in the intestinal line that allows all the undigested food and things like that to get into your body, all right? So it's not staying contained like it's supposed to, it's leaking out in other areas, hence the name leaky gut. So this is actually very common. A lot more people have this than what they even realize, and food intolerances are typically a sign of that. So those kind of usually go hand in hand. Again, that is if you have difficulty digesting food, it all goes back to your gut.
Oh man, every time we talk about leaky gut, I get a sick feeling. It just sounds so disgusting. But let's talk about some of the things that you can do to kind of help aid this situation if you find yourselves dealing with it. And as I've already mentioned right off top, getting the proper amount of fiber within your diet, helping your body begin to break some of these things down, is going to be critical and very, very important. So improving on your nutrition, when we talk about that, we're talking about the quality of food, getting an abundance of vegetables, green vegetables to be exact, things that are going to be high in fiber, and it's going to allow your body to have all the things it needs to be able to break foods down and process them.
Yeah, guys, so like in general, like we said, if you're eating a highly processed diet full of refined sugars, and you do that for an extended period of time, you are going to damage your gut health. And your nutrition is one of the key components to addressing this and fixing it over time. So as Nate mentioned, fruits and veggies, and particularly low sugar fruits, low starch vegetables, lean proteins, but also, as we talk about very often here, and you will hear us repeat this a million times over, staying away from the inflammatory foods. If you have issues with your gut, and if it is as extreme as being an autoimmune disease, you really have no choice but to stay away from the inflammatory foods at that point. This is something that we suggest for everybody. We don't think anyone should consume these types of foods, or at least not in high amounts, right? But if you are someone who has been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, then you absolutely 100% cannot have these things, or your body will not heal. So those are going to be caffeine, refined sugar, alcohol, dairy, and then the number one thing when it comes to your gut health, because this is what typically causes the leaky gut syndrome that we talked about, is gluten. All right? Those are the 5 inflammatory foods with an emphasis on gluten for what we are talking about today. Guys, you really need to stay away from those things. And then also stay hydrated. If you want things to move properly through the body, then you need to be properly hydrated, and that means water. That doesn't mean, a lot of people say, well, what about tea? Or what about if I put this in my water, or what about carbonated water? No, we're talking about just like water, guys. Just water. Give your body what it needs. You need at least half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. A lot of you are going to need up to 1 gallon of water a day because you're already dehydrated. If it's hot outside, physical activity level, there's a lot of factors that go into it. So in general, if you are a standard size man or woman, and you have a standard lifestyle as far as you go to work, you might have kids, you may walk your dog, things like that, right? And you probably need 1 gallon of water a day. Not everybody does, but a lot of people do. So, half your body weight in ounces first if you're not hitting that gallon of water, and then work your way up to it and kind of see where you need to be in between.
Yeah, guys, when it comes to the tea stuff, I would mention that having a hot cup of tea at night with your dinner is something that you guys can look forward to doing, or you guys should look into doing, because it is going to help your body digest that
Even
food
in the
faster.
morning, right?
Morning as well, you kind of have it with your meals, but for the most part, it will help aid that digestion by having that warm beverage going in to help them break down those foods. And also, when we talk about staying away from those inflammatory foods, notice that all of those things are chemically enhanced, meaning they're not of natural substances, so when they go into the system, they don't break down and process the same, meaning it's not going to pass through your digestive system the same. So the more you can keep that away from your body, or as little as possible going into the body, and more of that really healthy stuff, then your body can pass it more better. But if you're always filling up on that, then that is where you're going to run into a significant amount of these issues that we're speaking about today when we're talking about listening to your gut.
Yeah, guys, and I think that's good that Nate clarified. When I said tea, I'm talking about what most people drink and consider tea, which are going to be like sweet teas.
Not in McDonald's sweet teas, and y'all know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, so those are not going to be beneficial for you. Hot herbal teas, like real herbs, guys, that you're putting in your tea, is very beneficial for your body. I personally do not include that for my water intake for the day. That's kind of what I'm saying. And you know, that factors into your overall hydration levels, because if you're drinking other things like coffee even, or you know, even things like soda or these processed juices, those are going to dehydrate you, which means you need to make up for the amount of water intake that you're getting for that day. It has to be increased because you're dehydrating yourself with these other liquids. Ideally, you're not drinking those things that are going to dehydrate you anyway, but just as a side note, if you have 8 ounces of soda, you need to double your water intake, which means you need an additional 16 ounces of water to help combat that. All right, guys, moving on, the next thing that you can do is to take a pre and probiotic. So a prebiotic is going to be something that helps stimulate the growth of the good bacteria that you currently have in your guts. A probiotic is going to be cultures of live bacteria that you are placing into your guts. All right, so that's the difference there. You do need both, especially if there is damage done, which almost everybody's going to have damage done to your guts unless you are actively working on it. So those are going to come in the form of a supplement. Make sure that it is a high quality supplement. If you are getting some cheap supplements, at CVS, guys, I hate to say it, but that's probably going to do more harm than good. Make sure to read the labels, educate yourself on these things, look into the brand and what they stand for and how things are made, how their supplements are gathered, and what that system looks like, and make decisions from there. I will say Young Living has great supplements. Garden of Life also has fantastic supplements, and you can get that at any whole food or like health-based grocery store. So other things like what we like to do, kombucha. All right, and a kombucha is a fermented tea. So fermented foods.
There's your tea for you right there.
Yep, fermented foods are beneficial for your gut bacteria. Just make sure that you're staying away from the ones that have dairy in them, because a lot of them do. So just keep that in mind, guys. We really enjoy kombucha, one, because the only thing we drink is water, so that's a nice switch up for us, but it's still giving us benefits for our body. And again, quality matters with this. We drink GT. That's the name of the brand. They don't add any extra crap into it, guys. Read the ingredients. There should literally only be like 3 or 4 ingredients. And if you have a high quality supplement, then there's not going to be a lot of sugar in it, because as you know, to make kombucha, sugar is a part of that process, but the fermentation is what rids it of excess sugar. If you're having, a ton of grams of sugar in your kombucha, then it's not going to be beneficial for you. It's actually going to cause more harm. So guys, look at that, read the labels, make sure that there's not a lot of ingredients, that they are using live cultures. All these things are important. Number 3, and I'm not going to go like super heavy into this because there's a lot of people that are very passionate about this subject, but it is proven that things like antibiotics and vaccines do short-term and long-term damage to your gut health. And so if you are someone that frequently takes these things, then you need to be taking a pre and probiotic. Absolutely, you have to prepare for these things in advance. Ideally, you would avoid these things as much as possible, because anytime you do put something like that into your body, it will damage your gut. It kills off everything, the good and the bad, and even with like antibiotics, guys, vaccinations, there is a lot of science out there, a lot of proof that says that it damages it forever. That no matter what you do, all these things that we're talking about, that it will not fix the damages that are done to your gut. So please keep that in mind. Try to use herbal supplements, essential oils, things like that as much as possible. Combat any illness with herbs, nutrition. Have that be your first line of defense before you entertain the idea of overuse of these things.
And guys, we definitely encourage you to look into it. It's a very touchy subject there, so like we were not going to elaborate. But do your own research. If you don't, this isn't enough for you, which it shouldn't be, you should always look into it for yourself. But definitely look into it and see, because if you are one of those people, you could be helped in this case if you go and try to approach it a little bit differently in your future. But going ahead and wrapping it up here with the last 2, avoiding toxic household products. So what we mean by this is trying to not breathe in and inhale all of those different cleaners that are filled with all kinds of chemicals and all these things of that nature that are no good use to the body. So a lot of those things that you guys have, the bleaches, the Mr. Cleans, the Lysols, and all these things that we spray and we clean and we sterilize our house with. And I get you want to be clean, but there are a lot more healthier alternatives out there, things that are not going to be as aggressive to the system, cause you to develop bad gut health.
Now guys, and this is also going to extend further past cleaning products, so especially like my ladies, ladies, we put on so much toxic products onto our skin. It's absolutely insane. Men do too, but guys, just like keep in mind makeup, okay, deodorants, cologne, perfumes, your body wash, your shampoo, all these things, guys, candles. There's so many different things that go into this. If you are not researching and getting high quality products, again, that are using whole natural ingredients, then you are putting way too much toxic products onto your skin or in your general environment, and that is going to cause issues, especially long term. I know you guys have always heard about, what was it, the lawn care, I forgot what it's called, like the spray that they use on the lawn, like that has been proven now to cause cancer, all right? But we're around these things all the time. So, that's not the only case. There's multiple things like that in similar situations. Even those air freshener plugins have been proven to cause cancer. So you guys, please be cautious about the things that you put in your environment, that you put on your skin, that you put inside your body, because it matters. It's not just about the food, it's about everything that you surround yourself with. And if you guys are looking for healthier options, again, Young Living has high quality products. If you go to like health-based grocery stores, they are going to have higher quality products. Not all of them are going to be the highest quality, so again, learn to read the ingredients, know what you're getting, know what you're putting on your body, on your kids, in your home. It's very important, guys, because breathing in that stuff for a long period of time, guys, we're talking years, it's going to do damage, it's going to mess up your gut, and then eventually lead to disease. All right, guys, and then Number 5?
Yep, easiest one here. It's tough, but it's the easiest one, which is going to be managing your stress levels and getting a good night's rest, guys. Trying to get that sleep. And I know going back to number 2 here, when we talk about insomnia and poor sleep and everything like that, then you know that having a lot of those things, trying to get those healthy alternatives as far as more natural products that you're using, bettering your nutrition, and all of those things is going to help you guys be able to get in a position where you can get that good night rest and have lower stress levels. Because more so than not, a lot of us are walking around every day with stress levels through the roof, and in most
Especially
cases,
right now.
especially right now, and we don't always know what it's from. Sometimes you like, everything in my life is good, but I'm stressed out, and it can be a multitude of things relating back to maybe something that you did for years, like when we talk about those products that you could have been around and you could have been putting in the body that's keeping you from being able to have that healthy balance in your
Or
life.
even like emotional trauma, guys. Every one of us has emotional trauma, and if you're not addressing those things and finding healing, that will cause stress on the body. It's a different form of stress on the body, but it will cause stress on the body, and that will ultimately lead to disease if you do not address it after, the course of many years. Our bodies are very tough. They can handle a lot, but they shouldn't have to. So that's all, guys. Listen to your gut. These are the warning signs if you have an unhealthy gut and what you can do to combat it. We hope that you found value in this. Let us know if you show any of those signs, because we would love to help you further. We offer nutritional consulting, and that would be a fantastic place to start if you want to try to address some of these things and start to find healing in your life. But yeah, I think that's all, guys. We're going to have our free live boot camp tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on our Facebook page, Never Settle Fitness. So be sure to tune in for that and invite your friends and family. But unless you have anything else, Nate, I think we're done.
No, that is a wrap on today, guys. Like she said, if you're interested, you want to learn more, you want to gain some more understanding, definitely go ahead and set up that nutritional consultation with us. We would love to talk to you and just give you a lot more information on what it is that you could be doing or what it is that you are doing that is keeping you in that position, that is causing you to need to reach out to us about this situation. So don't hesitate to do so. We would love to help you out and work with you. It's our purpose. It's why we do this. And, hey, we need you guys. We love you guys. So.
Yep. All right, guys. And in conclusion, as always, never give up.
Never lose hope.
Never settle. We will see you guys right back here, same time, same place.
Yes, and let us see you on the live tonight, 6:30 p.m. for our boot camp. We'd like to see you there as well. It's another good place to start.